Cheese that is golden and sauce that is red. I dream about pizza, the tastiest bread. Pineapple's yellow, ham that is pink. Unpopular opinion, but Hawaiian's the best pizza, I think.
You've just been listening to the song The Colors of Pizza by sibling musical duo Olive and Anne Chovy. Hello, I'm actor, comedian, and philanthropist Adam Johnson, and welcome to tonight's episode of Master Pizza Theater. What's on tonight's menu? How about a steaming slice of subterranean subterfuge? The Legend of Mozzarella Falls. When we last left the Youngs, Whitney and Liam had tricked them into having an outdoor pizza party. Krista had made the most delicious special pizzas that day, including cheeseburger pizza and gummy bear pizza. Now, the Youngs were just sitting down in the Littles' playground to finally eat their pizza after a long morning solving the mystery of the pizza robber. Boy, all that problem solving has got me hungry, said a Young. You can say that again, said another. I could eat a pizza the size of this table. Oh yeah? I could eat enough pepperoni to fill my backpack, said another. I could eat a whole waterfall of cheese, said another Young. The Youngs all giggled, thinking about a waterfall made of cheese. One of the Youngs giggled so hard, he fell right off his seat. He brushed himself off, sat back down, and reached out to grab his pizza. But it was gone. Oh no, not again, he groaned. Someone's stolen my pizza for the second time today. The Youngs turned to look at Whitney and Liam, but they were busy handing out pizza to the Youngs. It couldn't have been them again. Look, over there, one of the Youngs pointed, at the bushes near the edge of the playground. The strangest thing was happening. The missing slice of pizza was disappearing into the bush. Just when I thought this day couldn't get any weirder, said the Young. Now my pizza's running off and hiding in the bushes. Oh, I don't know about that, said another Young. Unless your pizza has legs. Look there. The Young pointed at the ground. There was a trail of itsy-bitsy cheesy footprints leading all the way from the Youngs over to the bush where the pizza disappeared. Looks to me like someone or something very small just took your pizza on an adventure, said the Young. The Youngs went over to the bushes, got down on their hands and knees, and crawled underneath. Look, it's a trap door, said a Young. The Youngs opened the trap door and found a hole in the ground, a hole so deep and so dark they couldn't see the bottom. Hello, 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 the Young called out. It must be a really deep hole if there's an echo. Well, one way or another, I'm eating my pizza today, said another Young. They jumped straight into the hole. Tally-ho! Oof, they said. Are you okay? Asked the Youngs far above. I'm fine, said the Young down the hole. I landed on something squishy. Come on down. One by one, the Youngs jumped into the hole, landing safely below. I think this squishy thing is a giant mushroom, said one of the Youngs. I do love mushrooms on my pizza, said another. We must be going in the right direction. So, the Youngs set off walking through the pitch-black tunnel, feeling their way through the dark, holding hands so they didn't get separated. Back on the surface, Whitney and Liam looked around. Liam, does something seem strange to you? Said Whitney. Something's weird, but I can't quite put my finger on it, said Liam. Carol Ann walked out of the Littles' door holding a pizza. Her mouth dropped open and the pizza dropped on the ground. You guys, the Youngs are missing. Whitney and Liam jumped in the air. The Youngs are missing, they yelled. We've got to find them. So Liam and Whitney began searching the whole school for the lost Youngs. Meanwhile, the Youngs made their way through the dark tunnel, far underground, for what seemed like hours. Finally, one of them said, Hey, I think I see a light up ahead. The Youngs ran toward the end of the tunnel and poked their heads out. What they saw before them shocked them so much, their mouths dropped open. They saw a huge, gigantic cavern filled with buildings, streets, billboards, an entire city. Tiny cars and buses zipped around the underground metropolis. The Youngs looked up. Tiny glowing mushrooms high above on the roof of the cave lit the city, making it almost as bright as daylight inside. But the most amazing thing of all were the people in this underground city. They were tiny, maybe as tall as the Youngs' tables, with white beards, suspenders, floppy hats, and pointy ears, all walking about their daily business, shopping at shops and playing on playgrounds and dancing at dance parties. They were garden gnomes. As the Youngs stood there, one of the gnomes, who was reading a book and not really watching where he was going, bumped into them. Oh, excuse me, terribly sorry, he said, and then looked up. His eyes went wide in surprise. Intruder alert! Intruder alert! The humans have found us! We're done for! Oh, gee whiz! Oh, golly! Oh, no. All of the gnomes looked his way, saw the Youngs, and froze. Hundreds of them dropped what they were doing and started running around, panicking. Gosh golly willikers, we're toast now, one said. They'll squish my squash farm. They'll mash my mushroom house. We don't want to hurt you, yelled the Youngs. The gnomes stopped in their tracks. I'm just looking for my pizza, shrugged the Young, whose pizza was gone. Did you say pizza? One of the gnomes asked. You don't happen to have any pizza with you, another one said. Unfortunately, we don't, said the Youngs. We're just trying to find pizza. And so are we, said one of the gnomes, stepping forward to greet the Youngs. I'm Gump, the king of this land. Walk with me. So, after bowing to King Gump, the Youngs walked with him around the city as he showed them the sights of this strange new land. We have lived hidden beneath the earth for many years now, building our great city. We only return to the surface to take that which we want most above all, he said. The delicious pizza that you humans make. We love pizza. So cheesy, so delicious. But we have no idea how to make it at all. But it looks like you finally spotted one of our pizza spies. He pointed to his left. Over there, you can see the great lake of marinara sauce. They walked a little further with Gump, and the ground started to get a little squishy. Now we are walking over the great dunes of dough. He pointed off in the distance. Over there, you can see the pineapple plains, and beyond that, a waterfall made of steaming hot mozzarella. A whole waterfall made of mozzarella, whispered one of the Youngs, licking their lips. But King Gump, said one of the Youngs, you have everything here you need to make your own pizza. Why don't you do it yourself? The king looked sad. Well, we're rubbish cooks. Nobody ever taught us how to make a pizza. Looks like we've come at just the right time, said the Youngs. We'll show you how. We'll need a rolling pin, a pizza cutter, and an oven. King Gump scratched his chin. Well, we don't have any of those, but for a rolling pin, we could use a pineapple tree. For a pizza cutter, we could use a wheelbarrow wheel. And for an oven, well, I guess we'll have to cook it on the pepperoni volcano. That's going to be a huge pizza, using a tree for a rolling pin, whispered one of the youngs to another. But they all got to work. One team of gnomes went to Marinara Lake and came back with buckets of sauce. Another team came back with a dump truck of dough from the dunes. Another one came back with a wheelbarrow full of that delicious cheese from Mozzarella Falls. Soon, gnomes were showing up with tons of toppings from all over the city. The youngs went to work, showing the gnomes how to roll out the dough with the huge pizza trunk. They poured on the buckets of sauce and all the other toppings. The pizzas were huge. It took a team of 20 gnomes to carry one of them to the top of the volcano to cook them. Now, you'll want to cook it for 15 minutes for a nice crispy crust, said a young. Or on a baking sheet for a soft crust, said another. Soon, they had a huge stack of pizzas, enough to feed the whole city for months. How can we ever repay you for teaching us? King Gump asked the youngs, bowing to them. Well, I never did get my slice of pizza back, said one of the youngs. Oh, please take one of ours, said the king, and gave the youngs a huge pizza, a pizza so big that it took all of the youngs to carry. Now that you know how to make your own pizzas, you won't have to take ours, said a young. Well, Tony, we've got a dog in the shot. There's a dog on set. There can't be a dog on set. This is so unprofessional. And action. Now that you know how to make your own pizza, you won't have to take ours, said a young. Well, that's the thing about gnomes. We have terrible memories. Tiny brains, you see. But if we ever forget, we'll come find you, and maybe you could help us again? We love to help, said the youngs. So the gnomes guided the youngs back up to the surface, carrying their giant pizza over their heads. Back on the surface, all the teachers were running around the school looking for the youngs. Has anybody looked in the cupboards? Asked Heather J. Maybe they're in the ceiling, said Nell. I'll go look in the ball cart, said Matt. Wait a second, said Whitney. What's that? Is that a giant pizza? All the teachers ran up to the front of the school and looked at the front window. A giant pizza was coming up the driveway. It's the attack of the giant pizzas, said Adam, and hid under his desk. The youngs laughed and put the pizza down. It's just us. Seeing the shocked look on the teachers' faces, a young said, Trust us. It's a long story. Maybe one we could tell you over some pizza. Now they say that if you ever put down your slice of pizza at Halifax Independent School and a second later, it's gone. Well, that might just be a sign that it's time for the youngs to take a trip to their underground friends to help them make a couple of pizzas. I'm Adam Johnson, and thanks for joining me tonight. I'll see you next week on the next episode of Master Pizza Theater.